David and Goliath. The valley was quiet that morning, but not peaceful. On one hill stood the army of Israel. On the other stood the Philistines. Between them stretched a wide valley, waiting for a battle that no one seemed willing to start. For 40 days a giant stepped forward from the Philistine camp. His name was Goliath. He was over 9 feet tall, covered in bronze armor that gleamed in the sun. His voice thundered across the valley as he shouted toward the Israelites, "Choose a man to fight me. If he defeats me, we will serve you. But if I defeat him, you will serve us." Every time he spoke, fear spread through the army of Israel. Even King Saul, the leader of Israel, was afraid. No one stepped forward. No one answered the challenge. Day after day, the giant mocked them, and day after day, the army remained silent. But one day something changed. A young shepherd named David arrived at the camp. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't there to fight. His father had sent him to bring food to his older brothers and check on them. David was just a boy compared to the warriors around him. But as he stood there, he heard Goliath's voice echo across the valley. He watched as the giant mocked not just the army, but the living God. And something stirred inside him. David turned to the men around him and asked, "Who is this Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God?" The soldiers looked at him in disbelief. They had heard these insults for 40 days, but they had become used to fear. David had not. When King Saul heard about David, he called him in. David stood before the king and said, "Let no one lose heart because of this man. I will go and fight him." Saul looked at him and shook his head. "You are just a youth," he said, "and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David did not back down. He said, "When I was keeping my father's sheep, a lion came and a bear came and took a lamb from the flock. I went after it, struck it, and rescued the lamb. The Lord who delivered me from the lion and the bear will deliver me from this Philistine." There was something different about David. He was not trusting in his own strength. He was trusting in God. So Saul finally said, "Go and the Lord be with you." Saul tried to give David his own armor, a helmet, a coat, a sword, but David put them on and quickly took them off. "I cannot go in these," he said. "I am not used to them." Instead, David took his staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. Then he walked toward the valley, toward the giant. As David approached, Goliath saw him and laughed. He looked at the young boy and said, "Am I a dog, that you come to me with sticks?" He cursed David and mocked him. "Come here," Goliath said, "and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field." But David did not fear. He stood there, small in size but strong in faith, and answered, "You come to me with a sword and with a spear and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." Then David said something no one expected. "This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and all the earth will know that there is a God in Israel." And with that, David ran toward the giant, not away, toward him. As Goliath moved forward, ready to strike, David reached into his bag, took out a stone, and placed it in his sling. He swung it, once, twice, and then released it. The stone flew through the air and struck Goliath on the forehead. The giant staggered, and then he fell, face down, silent. The valley, once filled with fear, was suddenly still. The giant was defeated, not by strength, not by armor, not by experience, but by faith in God. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they fled, and the army of Israel rose up, shouting with victory. That day everything changed, not because of a boy, but because of a God who is greater than any giant. And the story of David reminds us of this truth. The battles we face are not won by strength alone. They are won by trusting in the Lord, because no matter how big the giant may seem, God is greater,